Hey guys, what's going on? We're finally back in the garage. We've got the Suzuki motor here. We're going to tear apart, trying to figure out what's going on with that transmission. I've recently traded this bike, but I told the guy that I would finish the motor and we'll get to put it back together with him. You'll see that bike finished, but with what I had going on, the bike that he traded me, it was a great deal for me, and I really wanted it. So you'll see that bike coming up soon, but for now, let's go ahead and get into it. Hey, thank you guys for 130 subscribers. I love this channel keeps growing. This is just fun for me, you know? I'm not a master mechanic, but I have fun with it. So let's get right into it, you guys. Okay. Looks like first things first here. I got a new rig here so I can get you a little closer. I'm not a huge fan of gloves, but we're going to get this all hooked up. I've got a case puller here. And what I read online is we're going to split these out between the three spots here. I'll just get this a little bit more. There we go. There we go. Use these studs. I could probably get away with using bolts here, but I'm going to go ahead and use these studs that came with it. Get them all screwed down on there. I like to sink these as far as I can because the more threads, the less it's going to strip out. At least that's my goal with this. There we go. Go, get the last one in there. Then I got to run these bolts down all the way to the bottom, or at least one of them, not all of them. That one in, bust these loose. Takes a minute here. I am still excited to see this bike run. I just got to get that transmission figured out. It's either shift forks or maybe I put a spacing in wrong. So once we get it apart and I can pull the transmission out of it, I'm going to be taking a peek at the spacers, everything I might have missed. Maybe I put something in the wrong spot. As you guys know, I'm learning. And so when I built this bike, you guys weren't really around to do it yet. I was still kind of getting to that point. So we'll get there. There we go. Last one going down. Now what I had seen is as you tighten this down, I put a bolt over that to protect it. It should pull it apart. I'm not quite sure what size the sucker is. I'll look at the first try, you guys. 17. Get that 17 over top of it. Put my 14 back here. Now, we want to keep an eye on. I got all the bolts out of it. All the way around it. Let's see if this case splitter works. Is it pulling it? Looking through, checking all my gaps. I am gapping it a little bit. There she's pulling out. Grab here. I am worried about this crankshaft a little bit. It's not coming apart. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to reassess here. Back off a little bit. Check some out here. Make sure we're not mushing that bolt down underneath there. That's my worry. I like to think of everything I can, but you're still going to miss some stuff. But if I can save that crankshaft, that'd be the best. I'm having issues with this bolt going over it because I think the previous owner stripped this a little bit. But I want to make sure that I didn't strip it out. It is a little bit of a pain to get off of there. I gotta get a good grip on it. There it goes, it's spinning. So we aren't hurting it. Threads look just fine. Let's try this guy out. See if we can get him over it. Don't really have a bolt for him. Alright, we're going to stick with the game plan A. As long as this guy's not hurting, I'm going to run it. together. This is my first time splitting a case, so leave in the comments anything that might be more helpful for me here, but you have to bear with me a little bit as I'm learning this tool. Also, I got some new tools, as you can see. This splitter here, I got over there. I've got my, oh, what do you call it? My engine stand, which is really nice. I already tested it out to see if I like it. I really like it, so. All right, round 2 here. Let's try this out. Come on. There we go. Hey, she split, guys. It worked. You can see that gap right there. Just keep an eye on this side. It is working. It's doing its job as we speak. I don't like to pry on this, but I'm gonna go grab something to tap on that with. Came apart well, guys. Let's take this off. Let's work on removing that bolt here for a second. I gotta get that bolt out of the way. You have to come out of there, buddy. Come on. There we go. No damage to the crank. Good. Was able to save it. Put it over here with the parts that I've got going. And let's remove that crank side. Come on. Press through, please. There she goes. Case side is out. Looks like I'll have to redo that transmission. No damage here. Bearing's a little cold, but she's working. Let's set that aside. Set her right here. All right, let's see. Now it looks like everything came out with that. The shift drum. I'd like it all to be back in there because I wanted to mess with it a little bit. Not quite sure. I think it's because I got her laying on her side here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this back into the engine stand, and then we will mess with the parts real quick. I'll probably pull that transmission apart, check all the shims. All right, guys, here's where I'm going to throw my gloves on because it's getting a little bit greasy. These bad boys are a little cold, so they'll have to warm up to my hands a little, but let's see if we can't figure out what went wrong when I put this together. And like I said, if you're watching this and you know about these engines, why they don't shift, just for reference, I had like 5 neutrals and 2 gears, and they would pop out of gear. So it very well could be how I reassembled this, because I'll be honest with you, I did not know what I was doing. There's shift fork. That's an important piece there. Push this bad boy out of there. Pull all of its gears with me. Another shift fork. Set that aside. Now that would be the back side, so that shim would have been that way, resting on this gear right here. There we go. Tip you up a little bit. There you go, guys. Perfect. Okay, so gearing. So that would have been this one. So this guy would have slid through, locked in. This guy here. That gear was this direction so they can lock in. So it's out of there. Okay. So that was a gear. That was a gear. Just shift. Okay. Get a paper towel here. Wipe up my mess a little bit. Try and keep my stand clean. A little murky in there, but not from like coolant, just junk. I don't think I cleaned this enough. It found some more stuff. So another thing we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to go through and clean up the mating surfaces, take off all of this stuff here and redo it. So yeah, I'm gonna take a minute and I'm gonna go ahead and look at some stuff online, see if I can figure out a schematics for this and see if there's anything missing in between these gears. So good news, guys, I figured out what it was. These two shift forks belong with this bike because this particular engine has the VIN number V on it. There's a few other VIN numbers, but they would take this 36E1 by 3, which is the third fork. These two are both 4 numbers. So 43B and another 43B, which was, if you can't really see it, but you can barely make it out that this is a 43B. There's not really any damage on these. My thought is that this one had gotten bent. Previous owner bought this and sent it with me, and when I put it in, because it fits the position, it might be shifted left or right just enough to not engage the gears. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to talk to the new owner of this bike and tell him, hey, we got to order up that third shift fork, and I think we should be good. Everything else looks good as far as parts, like the shift drum. It's not really chipping. There's no pieces missing out of it. I haven't noticed any like busted up parts. Somehow I got some grease on that like an idiot, but there's no visible wear in this. This looks just fine. The bearings for it are just fine, and it was shifting. It just wouldn't shift into a gear and catch, which leads me to believe this, because these are super important. Just bending them will mess it up. These look just fine. They don't really need polish. They're smooth sliding. There's no issues there. I went through all of the gears, checked all of the shims, checked all of the alignments. They're good. All the bearings, like I had said. So what I've come down to the conclusion of is this shift fork is the incorrect shift fork. I need to match it up to these two so that it'll properly shift. So I'm going to get a hold of the owner, tell him he needs to get a gasket kit for this, needs to order up this shift fork, and then we can proceed with putting this engine back together and getting it running properly, because I did have it running, which was a super, big thing for me because it was my first engine. And figuring out these transmissions, it's not really that hard. So I'm kind of excited to be able to get this together, put all those parts back in this engine here. So hey, if you enjoyed this episode of Build on Moto, as we figured out, what's wrong with this transmission and pulled the crank, hey, please like and subscribe. We've gotten as far as we can with this current episode. I've got to order some parts. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.